How is everybody tonight? Says I'm live. Woohoo! All right. Looking at some of the comments already. I agree. Finding Life's Moments, definitely a good video. Absolutely. So, lots to talk about tonight. I'm hoping everybody is. Hey, how's it going, Alberta Adventures? So, looks like. Hey, Johan, how's it going? You made it after all. How was the bowling tonight? Adventure Dog Overland. I've got a really cool video that I'm going to send to you from the last time we went to the Ghost. It's absolutely awesome. It's got Barrett in the middle of the river, and I'm going to send that to you because it's pretty picturesque. It's really awesome. I think you'd really like it. So, Johan, did you? How did your bowling go? Anyways, I've got some really big plans coming up. And unfortunately, my Jeep is not up to it. Oh, you're still not out yet for your bowling. Okay. So as a lot of you may have uh, heard, my motor is not doing so good. So it's hopefully going to be another week, maybe another 2 weeks, and it'll be back up and running. So I'm definitely waiting to hear about that. Uh, are you guys getting some feedback? You might want to mute that one over there. Yeah, so you guys getting any feedback, or is it well, I apologize. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, get out of there. Yeah. Okay. All is good? Okay, perfect. No feedback. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping the motor goes together a little bit better. We're going to be taking one of those Baxter Performance pieces. As everybody knows, JK and JLs will sometimes have a little bit of an issue keeping the oil on the top end of the motor when you cool them off. And what happens when you do that is um, the when it hold on, just so, there we go. When it cools down, and you do a cold start in the morning. There's no oil on the top part of the motor, so that's why the motor has been having a lot of issues. So we're going to be doing a back to performance. It kind of relocates the oil canister a little bit and keeps all that oil in the top part of the motor. So hopefully, going out, I won't be having these issues from now on. But some other plans. Looks like I might be going to Moab in a week. That'll be kind of cool. Kind of excited about that. Soothing Canadian landscapes? Yes, it does suck. Absolutely. um, who knows? It'll be kind of fun when we get down there. Not going to be able to bring the Jeep, unfortunately, but I am going with Matt from Earl's Off Road. We're going to go down and we're going to have. I think there's a couple of really good runs that we're going to be doing, and so it'll be kind of interesting. There's that one. What is it called? It goes on the of edge of a cliff. That's going to be kind of butt clenching, but a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing trip. I'm gonna go down kind of as a camera guy. We've got a whole itinerary planned. We've got I think 3 or 4 different trails planned. We've got some. Actually, we're gonna be seeing what was that? American Most Wanted motors while we're down there, and that is going to be V8 swaps. Who knows? Might be in my future. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is edge of the world. But yeah, it's might be looking at some V8 swaps. Actually, finding nice moments. It's not edge of the world. It's cliffhanger, is what it is. Yeah, cliffhanger. That's the one. So I'm pretty excited to go check out cliffhanger. I do believe we're going to be doing Hell's Revenge as well, and yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting trip. I've never been down there before, so I'm uh, I'm pretty stoked about it. I think it's going to be a pretty fun trip, all said and done. Do some exploring down there, and then heading down with Matt and kind of a little bit of a crew that we got going with the Earl's off road side of things. So yeah, that'll happen in about a week, and hopefully a week after that, I'll have my Jeep up and running again, so I can go out some more adventures again. I've been seeing everybody out doing a whole bunch of adventures, and I've been like, oh man, I can't join them. So that'll be coming soon. That'll be coming really soon. So how is everybody else doing tonight? How was your weekend? Hey, alternative tongue, how's it going? So anyone have any good uh, adventures this weekend? Bringing the Gazelle? Oh heck yeah, I'm bringing the Gazelle. Um, it's gonna be pretty fun. Maybe you need a new Jeep with a 392. Funny you should say that. I'm actually traveling down with a 392. So it's not my Jeep, however, but I will be driving it down there. So it's pretty good. Finding Life's Moments did an overnight. That sounds amazing. Oh, alternative tongue just did Ruby Falls on the weekend. That's pretty cool. Ruby Falls is a lot of fun. How was it when you were out there? Was there a lot of snow this time? I know they've been kind of going back and forth on snow fall levels out there. I mean, it was awesome weather this weekend, so probably we're okay. Alberta Adventures. I'm going to Vancouver Island, living out of my Jeep for a month. That's always a good thing, and hitting every trail I can find. There's some pretty awesome trails on Vancouver Island. Johan Barsbluk, my boy came in second at his bowling tourney this morning. Congratulations. That is awesome. Tell your boy I'm really proud of him. That's wicked. Sean McDonald. I'm torn between the Gazelle and the Oz tent. What is the Oz tent? The Gazelle, I'm fairly familiar with the Gazelle tent. Is the Oz tent that one that's kind of all silver on the outside? If so, that one does look pretty cool. It just seems pretty expensive. Alternative tongue. It was a 14-hour trail one way. Oh, so you guys had a little bit of snow to contend with. That's pretty fun. Always makes it fun. So did you guys sleep right out at the trail, like right at the falls? Finding Life's Moments, Alberta Adventure. As you come through, we could meet up and have a day before the ferry. That sounds pretty fun. Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Last time I went out to Ruby Falls was in the summer, so I think it was like a few hours just to get out there, so it wasn't really a big trip. But in the wintertime, man, that whole area sure changes when you get out there. So no, it's an Australian tent, Sean McDonald, and it sets up in 30 seconds. You know what? I got it on a TV screen over here. Oh, that looks pretty cool. I like the Oz tent. Is it like an expensive tent? That looks pretty sick. That would be perfect for the Moab trip. Darren and Karen, the YJ is on rebuild. Still lots to do for the rebuild. You know what? That's going to be a wicked YJ when it's done. I'm looking forward to really seeing that. Finding Life's Moments. Just let us know when. Alternative tongue. We reached the campsite in front of the falls around 3 a.m. We left Trailhead at noon. I bet you guys are pretty tired by the time you got there. That's awesome. You got to love those trips because they give you something to talk about around the campfire. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. 4,000 for that tent. I'm gonna check into it because it's a pretty cool tent. I mean, the Gazelle was a lot cheaper. It's right in that 600 range for the Gazelle. But I've never seen that tent before, so I've got it up on my computer screen over here. That looks pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check into it. Absolutely. There's a couple of different tents that I've been looking at, and I've been thinking, I know somebody's probably gonna kick me for this, but I've been thinking about going to a rooftop tent again. And it's but it's gotta be light. The last one I had was not light, and it ended up cracking and getting a bunch of damage. I kind of would like those new aluminum ones that are, under 100 pounds, like 80 pounds. So I'm kinda looking at that potentially. We'll see. Go Overland, uh, Canada has one of those tents, and, I guess we're gonna see it at the Expo because they're gonna be coming to the Expo, so that'll be kinda fun. Yeah, Johan, I know you love your Gazelle. We got some good footage, camping in the Gazelles. Yeah, finding life's moments. I'm pretty stoked. It's gonna be pretty fun. We're gonna have some pretty amazing adventures. There's a whole bunch of areas. We should get together a little bit later and talk about which ones you kind of want to hit. Ruby Falls is a really cool idea. We'll take you to the Ghost because that's kind of a no-brainer. Whoops, sorry, just about knocked over my phone here. And Amber has a West Coast tent. I think it's about 125 pounds. So is that just that's the company is West Coast Tent? That's pretty interesting. I'll have to take a look at it. Adventure Dog Overland. You missed some deep snow for mine and Courtney's birthday. Uh, Johan bought the entertainment all weekend long. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You guys looked like you had a lot of snow out on that weekend. I was a little bit jealous, just a little bit. That is a beautiful area though, like seriously beautiful. So I'm gonna have to make it a point to go out there and do some camping. Dave, absolutely. I'll go. Actually, I've been talking to Vito at Go Overland Canada a little bit. So, and then Sean got rid of his rooftop tent. I don't blame you. I have the Wild Coast tent. Okay, cool. Thanks, Amber. Finding life's moments. Yes, I have it in my schedule to go to Vernon. I will be going to Vernon, and I'll be there. I know Earl's Off Road is going to be there. Dave, blind man, I'm not sure if you're coming or not, but we should all travel out. That'd be a fun time. And then yeah, so on this Vernon Connect meet, are they going to be having some sort of a trail run that goes along with it? I'd be interested in seeing what they have on the go there. And I do know that they have some sort of a show and shine going on at the Vernon Connect meet. And it's they sent me the registration to register my Jeep in. So hopefully it'll be running by then. So I'll bring the Jeep out and register it in. And Dave is building campers with you in the background. Uh, where are we going and when? That's the Vernon Overland Connect meetup that's coming up. And then may or may not be some Crown Royal involved. Johan, always involved, always involved. Don't think so, buddy. We usually camp out after the show. Okay, cool. Well, that might be a fun camp out. Rear One AB, how's it going? Yeah, I'll definitely be there myself, guys. It'll be plenty of fun. Ah, hello from Quebec. Plenier Barrett or Barnet Outdoors. That's awesome. That's awesome. So what do you do? Do you have a YouTube channel? I'd love to go check it out. And Sean, if I was to lift my Gladiator, where would you take it to get this done in Calgary? If it was in Red Deer, I'd say Earl's Off Road all day long. Um, but in Calgary, I mean, I know Crave is down in Calgary. They seem to do a pretty good job. You can always go and check out uh, North Shore Off-Road down there, they do some lifting as well. But I'm not too familiar with a lot of the shops down there. I know Crave is mostly Toyota guys, but they do Jeeps as well. I've seen them do a lot of Jeeps, so might be worth a phone call anyways, just to see what's going on. Gladiator with a bit of a lift and some 37s. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Yeah, we're all trying. Absolutely. uh, IT handicapped. I get it. I get it. I've been trying to figure out this YouTube live thing all day long, and I think I finally got it down. Yeah, we'll all check out your channel. That sounds pretty cool. There we go. Python 3D, Calgary Custom Auto Works do lifts. Awesome. That's worth checking out. I just put a topper on my Tacoma, and now my rooftop tent is too high to fit in my garage. I'm both happy and sad now. Isn't that the truth? That's usually how it works. You put something on, you're giving something up. That's usually how it happens. Absolutely. So Plenty Barnet Outdoors. I'm definitely gonna have to check out your channel after I get off the live here. So post your channel up in the comments, and then that way I can go check it out. That's wicked. I'd love to go out to Quebec one day coming up and see some of the stuff that's out there. I've seen some more bushcraft guys out in Quebec, and man alive, is there some beautiful country out there. I think it would be a lot of fun to come out and check it out. Um, I had to remove my electric door opener for mine to fit. There you go. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Uh, researching bylaws for a new carport. That's the way to do her. Okay, perfect. I'll reach you by email. Um, I'm just finished editing one of my videos, which will be uploading for tomorrow morning. And it's the trip that we did last fall when we did the for Trails for Tomorrow, when we did the whole defense on um, Margaret Lake. So it's been kind of sitting around for a while, and it's taken me a while to actually get the video fully rolled out. So that'll be uploading tomorrow. But it kind of made me realize that there are a lot of people out there that really care, that care about, you know, the environment, that care about keeping our trails protected and maintained. And that makes me really proud of everybody out there, man. It's amazing to see that, because sometimes when you travel out there and you see all this garbage sitting there, and you see just a bunch of junk all over the place, and as Jerry from Backcountry Wrenching says, a bunch of ground poopers, only he doesn't quite say it that nicely. It's true. You sometimes lose faith in humanity. But when something like that event comes up where you put up the fence, it's cool. It's really cool to see how many people actually care and are passionate about the outdoors and about maintaining and protecting them. So I'm looking forward to uploading that video. And there's a lot of really cool things coming up with Trails for Tomorrow. So you guys will have to keep checking their website. They've got a bunch of cleanups and stuff that they're going to do. Are there any group events coming up? My wife and I want to get more involved and meet more like-minded people. Well, the first one that comes up in my mind is the Alberta Outdoor Adventure Expo. That one right there. It's coming up June 2021, 22. It's more of a there's tons of camping. There's 85 plus acres of camping. And yeah, Johan goes, AOA. And it's so fun. It's an actual camping event, but you get to see the vendors, you get to have all the courses. So it's a cool event. And I think, you know what? I think Overland Alberta should start hosting a few more group runs. What do you guys think? I think maybe we should do that. Or how about rigs and coffee or something like that? I'd be down with that. It's something that I've been thinking about. is doing it's called coffee on the coordinates. So I'll put up some coordinates and then basically people meet me out there for a cup of coffee. I don't necessarily do a trail run with everybody, but I'll have a pot of coffee, and if you come on out, I'll do some coffee with you. So a whole bunch of little ideas rolling around in my brain right at the moment about that. So yes, trail runs. I think I'm definitely going to start doing that. Um, that coffee on the coordinates, and there was another one that I was thinking about doing. So I am just about 6,000 subs on YouTube, and I was thinking of doing a special event for the once I reach 6,000. So I'll definitely post it up, and we should have some fun with that. Let's see. We haven't done a Central Alberta coffee meet and greet at Parkland Mall. Jonathan, hey Jonathan, how's it going? You know what? That's a great idea. We should do Central Alberta and everyone else invited meet and greet at the Parkland Mall again. There's a ton of parking out there. It'd be fun. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to throw up an event on that. Thank you for suggesting that. I think that's great. Amber, I was wanting to ask, you mentioned that the trail into the Ghost is partly okay for stock vehicles like SUV stock. 100%. Now, with a kind of a proviso on that. If it's snowing or if you've got lots of rain, I've seen the river flood down there, lots of deep snow, that'll affect it. But if it's pretty much good roads, you're not going to have an issue with a stock SUV. It'll be super fun. You'll have a lot of fun with it. What type of SUV are you running? And yes, Adventure Dog goes, Amber, Ghost for the most part is good for stock. And the river crossings sometimes can get a little bit deep if there's a ton of water that happens, but you just check them out before you go across. Yeah, 6,000. Thank you, Finding Life's Moments. It's just around the corner. It's coming. Rare 1AB out of Crossfield. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're not that far from me. We should do some coffee. I'm in. Fan City Adventure. Hey, how's it going? You guys have been doing some cool stuff lately. I'm looking forward to some new videos from you. Let's see. Amber says, I saw a Mazda CX-5 for the first time. I went there. Of course, the weather was mild that December. Yeah. Yeah. If you're going into the Ghost, it's pretty tame. There are lines you can take that are maybe a little bit more difficult out there, but it's really not that bad if you stick, to the main trail and don't take some of the optional lines. You'll be just fine. Um, the one trail that's actually just closed now, so there used to be the Frozen Falls. To get to the Frozen Falls is only 3 months out of the year. They've just closed that. So April 1st, you can no longer go out there. But some of the trail past the Frozen Falls does have some high clearance spots. But other than that, the whole area out there is really fun, and it's amazingly beautiful. Amazingly beautiful. Jeep Compass Trailhawk, you're set. Yeah, you don't have any issues. So there was a YouTube channel. They would run around with a Jeep Compass Trailhawk, and I think they called it Trailhawk Adventures or something like that. Man, they took that thing places I have never seen a Trailhawk go before. I was pretty impressed. They did have to spin their tires a little bit more, and they lifted the front end up on a lot of the off camber stuff, but they made it. I think that guy learned how to drive that rig pretty decently because he was driving it a lot better than some of the other more capable rigs that were with them doing. So yeah, I've taken a couple of places and get some weird looks from people. You know what? I mean, half the trails that are out there are pretty tame. You'll be fine. And I mean, as long as you have recovery gear and you're set to go, yeah, you'll be fine. Just obviously know where your limits are, and let people know where you are. Sometimes having a communicator is good. So if you get stuck to the point where you can't get out, then you can call someone. My favorite route out is Water Valley through to the Trunk Road. I love that road. I love that road. That is one of my favorite roads. I think my favorite time I've ever taken that, actually, Johan. We were coming back from, where was that now? I can't remember. You and I were out somewhere camping, and we're coming back through that road, and it had just snowed like maybe a foot. And we were coming through there, and the snow was just flying off of our fenders. It was so much fun. That was a great road. Yeah, were we camping in Ghost? I can't remember. I just remember that road, man. That was amazing. We were just booting it through there, and yeah, the snow was just flying on either side because nobody had gone through the road, so it was nice deep snow. It was pretty fun. Yeah, lots of firewood out there. I agree with you. Maybe we could do a massive camping group at Red Deer River down by Innisfil for your 6K goal. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea, Jonathan. Is that area still open down there? I've heard from a couple people that it was closed, but I have a sneaking suspicion they were trying to go on the opposite side of the river, and I know that is closed for sure. But there's a you know what? Let's go out and check it out. See what's happening out there. West, what is it here? West of Water Valley to the Trunk Road is fun. Yes. Python 3D, 100%. I love that road. Uh, once you're out on the Red Deer River there, there's a lot of area you can actually camp right along the river. They've got lots of rocky shore and areas, so it might not be that bad. I'm gonna go check it out. Why not? Yeah, I appreciate you. I heard it's still open too, but I'm gonna go out and check it out. It's kind of a cool little area, and that can get a little bit sketchy when it gets really wet out there. Because sometimes you'll get stuck really easily. Sometimes the mud holes get a little deep. Rare 1AB. We took that route all the way to the fall AOA last year. Camped along the trunk road in both directions. That's amazing. There's so many camping spots. It's pretty fun. Alberta Adventures. I've never been on the trunk road, but this year I'm making it a priority. Absolutely. Trunk road is a ton of fun. Dave and I from Blind Man Overland, we did the Four Corners expedition. We did 1,000 kilometers of trunk road in one day because we were trying to get from one point to another. And man, it is so beautiful back in there. It's changed a lot over the years. I remember running the trunk road years ago, and it was, kind of a little bit of a rough road. It was a little harder to get with all the commercial traffic that's on it now. It's definitely a lot easier to run, but absolutely camp spots everywhere. It's pretty good. We've got a new Jeep and needed to visit the trunk. Yeah, fair enough. You know what? You know what'd be fun? Doing a trunk road camp out. Huh. Okay, let me write that down because I've got a whole bunch of ideas going on in here. So trunk road camp out. Okay. Innisfil. Okay. Somebody says, thanks for the videos, especially your Transalta video. It taught me and my family how to get started in overlanding. Anytime, man. And I'm happy you were able to get something out of it. That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, Adventure Dog Overland's always in. So no matter what ideas I write down here, he's always in. Let's see. Yeah, Johan's like, let's do it. I'm watching one of your videos on my TV while chatting with you through my phone. Go figure. I mean, I have this hobby to get away from all the tech. Isn't that the truth? Alberta adventures, I'd be down for a trunk road camp out. Okay, let me put something together. That should be fun. I think that might be a good way to do it. I got the perfect campsite. Okay. So when Dave and I, where is this trunk road? Yeah, yeah. Sold our motorcycle and bought a Jeep. That'd be fun. Yeah. Let's do something. Let's do something. We'll do a trunk road camp out somewhere. Bruce, you should come too. It's an amazing place. You'll like the trunk road. We're just starting to explore. Well, you know what? Come on out with a trip with me. We'll go out. We'll explore some places. Where's good for full size trucks? Ram lifted. Well, we were just talking about the Ghost. That you know what? I could take my Ram out there. I've got a down the trunk road is nice and easy as well. And it depends as to whether or not it's super shiny and you want it scratched or not. There's a few other trails that'll have some scratches. There we go. Rare one AB. I'm gonna do a few of them, so we'll see. Nick goes, well, I've been a Jeep guy my whole life, and I've switched to a 5-speed third gen 4Runner, hitting Ruby Falls this May long. Hope to see you on the trails. It's been too many years. That's awesome, Nick. Yeah, no, you can't go too wrong with that. If you guys like the trunk road, you probably will also like Pembina River Forest. That's a beautiful area. I agree. I agree. There's a ton of spots along the trunk road, and a ton of adventure trails that go off the trunk road. So trunk road leads you to a lot of cool spots. It may not be it's just a gravel road is all it is, but it gets you to a lot of adventure. Yeah, I agree, Randy. Lots on Google. Lots on Google. Yeah, Adventure Dog Overland. You have been able to fit your F-150 in most places. So it's funny. This last summer, Adventure Dog Overland came with a bunch of us, and we went and did the Beaver Flats loop in the Livingston Range. And there's a couple little bit high clearance areas and whatnot, and there's some rocks that you have to. I think you did actually. I know your running boards aren't rock sliders, but you used your rock sliders. It was pretty cool. It's your channel that made me get back into this off-roading world. Thanks for the great vids. Nick, anytime, man. I enjoy it. Um, I've got tons of videos still that I haven't made. It's kind of funny. I've been on so many adventures and I don't have the time to actually physically make the videos. So there's a ton of videos that I still have to make. Randy, I've got a Power Wagon and a TJ, so I'm fairly universal. You're pretty similar to me then. I've got a JK and a Warlock. So yeah, and I'm thinking what I want to do with the Warlock is I want to put one of Dave's Yucca packs on it, but I want to do the safari top so the whole thing lifts up. I think that'll be pretty fun. Is there cell service along the trunk road? Some areas, no. Most areas, no. Let's put it that way. When I head out, I also have a little GPS. Um, um, well, basically, I can take my phone and text like normal, but it uses the GPS satellites to do it. Yeah, Zolio, that's it. Can you grab it for me? I think it's right there, isn't it? Oh no, I brought it out to the other room. I used to build Jeeps as dedicated off-roaders. I'm currently building a third gen Tacoma. Love my taco. Yeah, I don't blame you. Those tacos are absolutely amazing, especially for trunk road, gravel road stuff. They handle that so nice being independent suspension. Ham radio, yeah, that's always good. Um, this is the Zolio. My wife just grabbed it for me. Thank you, Joy. So that's the Zolio, and it when it turns on, hooks up to the satellites, and I can text uh, just like normal. But I do have a Zolio number, so if I text you from the Zolio device, you get a weird number that pops up. So sometimes you think I'm like a spam guy or something like that. So I tell most people, hey, expect a text, or I'll send them a text before I leave town so they know who it is. But this works really good. I've been pretty happy with it. You can pull weather reports and everything no matter where you are. So yeah, I'm happy with this. let's see here. Yep. Yep. You do need to get a backcountry or Crownland camping pass as well. Yeah, so the Crownland camping pass is everything outside of Banff, Jasper, and um, Kananaskis. So those are their own passes on their own. So if you want to go camping, you do need 100%. I think it's like $30 for a year. It's not a big deal. Yeah, Forestry Trunk Road uses LAD2 on VHF. And Randy, maybe that's another thing we should do as a group, maybe book some radio training. There's so many people that use VHF but don't have their radio certificates. That might be something we should look into. I don't have it, but when my wife is with me, I'm legal because somebody rides with you with their license, then you're fine. You can use the radio. I think they have a map on it, Jay, but it's save to get one regardless. So yeah, definitely satellite communications, um, radio communications are good. Yeah, I think radio training would be awesome. I don't know who to talk to about it, but maybe I'll look into it and see who would offer that. I know there was the Calgary Radio Club that used to have it, so I might try it with them and see if maybe we can organize a class or something. I think something like that would be maybe a bit much to do at the expo, just because it's a fairly long course. But yeah, it might be something definitely to look. So I use one of those radios. Rare 1AB says, on radio control roads, you don't need the license to broadcast or other reasons you require. Agreed, agreed, but it's always good to get your license. Um, and especially if you're in the States, if you are like using a radio in the States, you can actually get a huge fine down there. So had a guy from BC that did a virtual course with a bunch of us. It's not that easy, trust me. Yeah, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. There's a little bit to it. But I mean, I'm all in. I wouldn't mind getting my license. Um, yeah, Alberta Adventures, Garmin InReach. Yeah, it's very similar to this. Yeah, it's just um, you can text back and forth and do the whole thing. There's a guy in Edson who is really well educated on them. He programs the ones for the oil field. Not sure if you have special training to teach though. Maybe I should talk to him because Edson is right where the expo is. It might not be a bad idea to go and see if we can get somebody for the expo. Cyril Arnold, we never got a radio license individually in oil field, but the company had one. Yeah, they'll get a license that'll kind of umbrella everybody. So yeah, see what radios everyone uses. So I use the what is it? The super cheap one. Um Baofeng, I believe it was UV5H, I think is the model number. And apparently it does a lot of noise pollution. So I wouldn't mind upgrading to like one of the Kenwood ones that's actually built into the Jeep. That would be good. Comms, Bush, first aid, recovery. I agree with you. That would be pretty good. So a lot of those courses are actually at the expo. We have some bushcrafting courses at the expo. So yeah, if you do happen to come to the expo, there'll be lots of courses. Um, you have a yeah, that's right. The newer iPhones and apparently some of the Samsungs are going to be coming out with satellite comms as well. So who knows? Maybe in a year this will be outdated tech, which kind of suits me because I usually use a lot of outdated tech anyway. Uh, Bernie J Expo. So the Alberta Outdoor Adventure Expo, June 20, 21, 22. It's in Alberta here, and it's a fun event. Lots of vendors, lots of courses. It's a camping event. There's 85 plus acres to camp on, and it's just a ton of fun. A lot of like-minded people all coming all at once to one area. So we make it so that people go there and have fun, and it's pretty good versus going to a concrete big huge dome and walking around and getting your feet sore. You get to be outside and camp in your own camper or tent or whatever have you. And courses in the USA are much easier. I'd like to be part of that training idea. Yeah, absolutely. I'll post up some information about doing some radio courses because I think it's needed. There's a lot of people using VHF, UHF without their ham license. So, information is power, right? Knowledge is power. So I think the more everyone knows, the better. Yeah, you need permission to use frequencies, no training required. To get your ham license, you need to take a course. Yeah, absolutely. As far as flute, I have a cheap Motorola from Visions, Randy. I see a lot of people using Baofeng radios, which really isn't legal. I did the radio program and was many days long. Yeah. So they are one of those gray areas with the Baofengs. It's they're a cheap entry. But it's a gray area. They spit out a lot of like noise. So somebody with a good radio can tell when you're on a Baofeng because they're like, oh, look at all that noise coming through. So that's why a lot of people don't like the Baofeng. So I will upgrade eventually. Phone satellite texting I've learned is a 2-year trial and there. Okay, yep. So I've seen a lot of people. Yeah, I agree. Dave, we should sponsor a class. But a lot of people, they're having the issues with that texting from the iPhone. So apparently you got to do a lot of this and walking around. Bruce, you have the VX6 and then the ASO Mobile for the Jeep. Worked very well. Nice. Randy, yeah, anyone going to give you hassle for using a Baofeng here? Probably not. I've had some people comment on my YouTube channel, hey, why are you using that Baofeng? But in all honesty, most like where we're using it, there's not going to be many people around that are going to hear it anyway. Yeah, with a rooftop antenna, I carry small GMRS radios too. That is a good point. GMRS radios are something good to invest in. There's a lot of people that hit the trails that do use GMRS. So if you have a GMRS radio, that's a good backup to have. I find the phone satellite is okay only. My friend works at the mine in Catamount, and it only works half the time. Been hearing a lot of stories about that, especially if you're not getting that direct line of sight. It definitely is an issue. It gets me weather reports, and I won't broadcast on any restricted channels. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Starlink. Yep, that Craig, absolutely. Starlink is pretty cool, actually. Anytime. I appreciate it. Planner Barrett or Barnett Outdoors. Anytime, man. Anyone using Starlink, or is it not as effective in the mountains? It is effective in the mountains. You do still have to have that line of sight. So, I mean, in certain areas, you might have an issue, but travel a kilometer down the road and you're probably pretty good. They would rather you use it because uh, and cause an accident on the road. Yeah, I agree with you, Amber. So a lot of the trunk road now, you have to call in, especially on the northern end. It is so commercialized up there now. You do have to call on tight corners and stuff like that. It says must call on the signs on the side of the road. So you have a good point. I mean, they would rather you call versus getting into an accident with a big semi truck up there. Um, awesome. I will keep the tires on the ground. Happy trails right back at you. Uh, yeah, yeah. Rare 1AB. There was a night that we were camping out in the mountains and we had seen all these strips of satellites go by and all the it was kind of cool. And then we seen the space station. We were just sitting there watching the sky because it was so cool. It was just amazing, like beautiful, just crystal clear. We see the space station. I think it's about every 22 minutes. Once you see it, you'll see it just keep going around and around and around once you're in that orbit line. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Dave, good point. Anywhere it says must call, you must call no matter if you're commercial traffic or not. So there's the answer. Even if you have a Baofeng that pollutes the airwaves and you don't have a license, you're still better off to call versus having an accident. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Randy. Yes, Alberta Adventures, they do when you go on a road, they'll actually say tune in to this frequency. Some roads will have different frequencies, so yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, they'll list it. So BC Four Wheel Drive Association out in BC, they actually paid to have their own channel, which is kind of cool. So I don't know, maybe somebody out here should do that. Maybe Trails for Tomorrow. There's an idea. So BC Four Wheel Drive Association is kind of the BC organization that counters Trails for Tomorrow. In fact, BC Four Wheel Drive is helping Trails for Tomorrow kind of get up and running and everything else. So yeah, maybe I should bring that up at the next Trails for Tomorrow meeting. We should have our own frequencies. Yeah. Dave, some signs even indicate that you call the direction of travel loaded or unloaded, in or out, depending on the road. Yeah, agreed, agreed. Yeah, finding life's moments, agreed. Yeah, great organization. Those guys have done so much to help Trails for Tomorrow. Phenomenal people, absolutely phenomenal. Um, we used to call in when tree planting back in the day. Yeah, absolutely. I've run oil field trucks. We do appreciate you calling. If you follow a rig or company truck, they call for you in general. Yeah, yeah, totally. Are you part of the Friends of the Eastern Slopes? No, but I've met with some at some events that I was just at actually. Um, yeah, Dave nailed it. Driving is the most dangerous part of what we do. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, Friends of the Eastern Slopes they're an amazing organization as well. And I was at down in Livingston. I was part of a kind of a big meeting that they had down there where we were looking at different trails, and Trails for Tomorrow is looking at potentially uh, doing some new trails in the area. So we had this big meeting, and actually, Friends of the Eastern Slopes were actually at that meeting as well. So I definitely wouldn't mind getting involved with those guys a bit more. They're pretty cool. No, very cool. Very cool. Well, send them my name. Thank you. Love Trails for Tomorrow. It's been a road. We're finally up and running with Trails for Tomorrow. And yeah, we're slowly getting it. We're slowly getting it. Um, yep, yeah, yeah. Empty or loaded. I agree. Year-round campsites too, right? Yeah, Friends of the Eastern Slopes, they do run a lot of different campsites, which is kind of cool. And yeah, they're an interesting organization. I definitely want to get to know them a little bit better, especially with my role as in Trails for Tomorrow as well. I think we can help each other out a lot. BC and Alberta call differently. How so? I Eastern Slope Society 70 years around with some fishing ponds. Yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of their campgrounds, sponsored campgrounds and everything. So rare one AB loaded, unloaded versus up and down. Okay, fair enough. Well, I think that's how they do it out here is loaded and unloaded as well. How they call them. But let me write that down on my book. Radio class. That might be something really good to do. There's so many questions. Like on the YouTube channel, in the Overland Alberta Facebook group, even on my Instagram. I always get lots of questions about radio and comms. So let's see, Jay, I remember that negative 2530 video. I yeah, that was a cold one. That was a cold night. Yeah, we definitely had some chilly air and to deal with. It was pretty good, but we had a wood stove inside the tent, so that really helped out. Yeah, and they do it differently in a few different areas. I've heard down in the States it's even different depending as to where you go as well for the radio calls. Fun little course that comes to be interested in is bear and cougar safety. So agree, absolutely. Um, Actually, I can't remember if one of the classes at the expo is going to be about that. All right. Did you give anyone any more thought on an off-road poker rally? That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I don't know if we could do it for the expo, but maybe an off-road poker rally, just here, give you a bunch of waypoints and you just go ahead and do them. Hey, here's an idea. Four Corners Expedition as an off-road poker rally. That's kind of cool. Oh, another idea. Four Corners. I've been thinking about doing the Four Corners Expedition again. So maybe that might be a cool way to do it. Have all the waypoints in and then upload them all and people can do like a poker rally style. That'd be kind of fun. Oilfield traffic is always busy morning in, afternoon out. Midday's pretty late. Yeah, I agree. So I kind of like that poker rally. Random video idea for you guys. Sleep systems. I'm cold 24/7, so I'd like to see how people stay warm. That's a great idea. Sleep systems. Actually, um, Adventure Dog Overland just did a little bit of a video on stuff, and I did a little bit of a snippet for them on sleep systems. So that might be kind of a cool thing to do. You know what? I might do that actually on one of my next videos. So Cyril Arnold, Dave from Blind Man Overland, and myself, we did during COVID. We did something called the Four Corners Expedition. So we went to all the four corners. Technically, there's five. Yes, I know, but we called it Four Corners because it sounds better. So we did the four corners of Alberta, doing back roads and just exploring, and it was an absolute amazing time. Um, he's got a whole video on his YouTube channel, and I've got a video on my YouTube channel. It's an actual, you can watch each individual episode, or I put it together as a movie as well. You can actually watch the Four Corners Expedition movie. All right, I am diesel heater, insulated camp chairs, heated blanket, hoodie. Yep, I agree. I agree. Camp Lux Gasland hot. Yeah, all that stuff definitely helps. Base layers, your basic dressing on with base layers, huge, huge. Just increases your thermal abilities when you're out there. Well, finding life's moments. Thank you. It was fun. I really want to do it again. Um, let's see. Ignic fire is a good warmth too. Use military 3-bag system for my winter camps. That's exactly what I use, is the military 3-bag system. Works really, really well. Yeah, I think we should do something with the four corners, Dave, if you can hear me. Wide wife, LOL. Okay. So how I sleep when I'm out there, I don't need a buddy heater. I don't need a diesel heater. They're luxuries for me. Um, I dress in base layers. So when I go to sleep at night, I basically will make sure I have my base layers on. So I'll have like woolies and that type of stuff. And yeah, the Yeah, Dave goes, Alberta has 5 corners. I know, Dave. I know. I'm gonna call it the 4 corners. I don't care. So, um, you derailed me, Dave. uh, so, anyways, I do base layers, and then I use the sleeping bag setup, the military sleeping bag setup. So you have your cotton inner, then you've got an outer, which is with just that alone, you're about a -20, -25. And when you put the outer layer on, you're good to like -40. And so if you're all bundled up, you're good to go. Base layers and a good sleeping bag will trump anything else. You run out of propane, you run out of diesel, or your diesel heater gums up because it has dirty diesel. Doesn't matter if you've got the proper sleep system, you're safe. If it's -40 and you have a -40 sleeping bag, you're going to be uncomfortable, but you'll still survive. If it's -15, -20, and you got a -40 sleeping bag, you'll be totally comfortable. So just keep that in mind. Rye alone doesn't keep you as warm as one thinks. Is that from experience there, Johan? I've slept on the ground in that system, -50. Yeah, absolutely. It works. It really works. And where you can pick them up, inexpensive, is you can go to any military discount store, um, pick up a sleeping bag, and they'll charge you like 250, maybe $300 is I think what they normally charge. Bruce is wondering about what you drink there, Johan. But yeah, I mean, you get a good sleeping system, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be toasty with a good set of base layers, and then add a heater on top of that. You won't be worried. My wife comes camping with me, and she is always cold. So she'll use half of my military sleeping bag while I use the heaters, and sometimes I'll even throw a blanket on her. She's good. She's good. Yeah, yeah. You get the right system. You're good for pretty cold weather. That's for sure. Crown Royal. Apparently, it is entertaining. I'm afraid to ask. Nick, the military is getting new bags right now, so you should start seeing a surplus of bags soon. Nice, nice. Um, King's Coat in Red Deer. They always have them in stock. I think they've got like 5 or 6, of the military bags in stock right now. And I wanna say they were $250. I can't remember exactly, but, I mean, if you were to go buy that system new, you're probably anywhere from 1,500 to 2 grand easy on that style of setup, so, it's worth the money for 200, even if it was $300 or 350, it's still worth the money. And especially on a cold night, you'll be like, "Man, am I happy I bought that sleep system." I like beer and gin, not at the same time. Yeah, finding life's moments, you guys have it you have it pretty good out there. Yeah, way warmer than here, but you get a lot more rain as a kind of a that's the opposite to that. So I used to live in Bella Coola, you probably already know that. In Bella Coola, yeah, it was just rainy all the time, but it was really warm. And then every once in a while, we get what's called the north wind. It would fly in, and then everything would freeze. And yeah, it was interesting because everything was so wet, and then instant freeze. You'd have layers of ice everywhere. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I was up in the Arctic, FLM. Yep, absolutely. I imagine you've had a few experiences up there. Yeah. You know what? An Arctic trip would be absolutely amazing. I've been doing a lot of map. You know how you get on a map and you look for different campsites and all that in the Yukon. And there are a lot of old resource roads up in the Yukon. I don't know if they're open or not, but I see them on the map. It'd be fun just go up there for a week and just explore some of these old resource roads. I bet you that would be pretty amazing. Some of them look like they're pretty high up in the mountains, so yeah, who knows? Who knows where you'll end up? Um, if they're anything like BC, they probably have a gate on. We'll see. Bronc beer. So, what is Bronc beer? Is that like a local Calgary brewery? Yeah, I agree, Bruce. Arctic trip, 100%. I'd be down for doing something like that. Yeah, Liard Hot Springs on the way up there. It'll be pretty badass. Takes up a lot of space in the fridge, though. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, Keith Christensen, the Yukon would be a very great place to go for a trip. I agree, 100%. I think Yukon would be amazing. I've been doing a lot of studying on different areas we could go out there, and man, I am impressed with that whole area. It's pretty cool. If anyone is interested, we are planning a group trip to the Arctic in July. That is cool. That is really cool. I like to go on some trips with people, but I'm not on Facebook or anything, and not much listed on YouTube. Is there a site where I can find out what's going on where and when? So if you're not on Facebook or Instagram, you know what? I can probably post up some stuff on YouTube if it's coming up. Yeah, I've got some ideas here written down, so I can probably post them up as a post on YouTube. That shouldn't be a problem. Norman Wells, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There is a really cool road up by Norman Wells. Um, oh, I forget the name of the road now, but there's the end of it, which ends up at Norman Wells. It doesn't look like it's passable anymore, but I'd be interested in finding out. I really badly want to go to the Yukon. Yeah, me too. Me too. I've been doing a lot of research on it. It's gonna happen one day here. Gonna happen. Been to Tuck and Inuvik decades ago. Would like to go again. You know what? It's an adventure. Uh, in the back of my mind, I'd like to do North America down to South America, do the whole Pan American Highway, and starting in Alaska because it's a little bit closer, makes a lot of sense, and then work my way down, and eventually, I might be able to do it. So a lot of planning, a lot of a lot of a lot of money, but maybe one day it'll happen. We should start an Overland Alberta website. You can list events there. One is coming, actually, Johan. I'm glad you brought that up. We do have a website coming up. I was there for spontaneously combusting roads. You can't make that up. What is a spontaneous combusting road? That sounds interesting to me. Jay, you could do an intro or an outro to your videos. Yeah, I agree. Or a short that you've heard is coming up a month in advance. Just thinking out loud. I like your thoughts out loud. Thanks for spitting them out my way. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I've been thinking about doing a little bit more in the shorts anyway, so that might be a really good idea. Across Canada, hit a trail in each province. Johan, you read my mind. Seriously, I've already thought about that. That's awesome. So I have been in contact with a bunch of people all the way across Canada and setting things up so that if we do a cross Canada trip, I've got people who can show me trails in all those areas. Because a lot of those trails, you don't know. You can look on a map, but you don't know. So yeah, I love that idea. Across the Mackenzie River from Norman Wells. Thank God it was July. Yeah, I bet. I bet. When it rained, the roads would ignite. Why would they ignite? That is pretty cool. I mean, not cool, but cool. Um, just because of what they put on the roads, maybe to keep them, winter ready. Huh. And it mixes with some of the local dirt. The base of the road was made out of shale. the pyrite would ignite where piled 6. Wow, that is pretty interesting. I'm gonna go research that now. That is really, really interesting. It heated up and ignited the shale. Wow, I have never heard of that before. Igniting roads. I gotta write that down. That's really cool. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Igniting roads. Okay. How cool of an adventure would that be to go on a trip and actually see an igniting road? Hopefully it doesn't blow your tires off. I don't know how that works, but it is on my radar now. Yeah, Mike, I'm really happy you could make it. Thank you so much. It spewed H2S and O2S on the road. So it could be a little dangerous. Yeah, Mike. Actually, it's kind of funny. I just met with Mike. We just met up for just like a little coffee thing here not too long ago, and yeah, it's um, Mike and I are planning a couple trips here this summer, so we're pretty excited about a couple things coming up, and I think Liard Hot Springs was mentioned as part of that, so who knows? I think they've learned how to avoid it now. Interesting. I am so intrigued by igniting roads now. No, seriously, you got me down a rabbit hole. I really want to check it out and see what this is all about. Because how cool would that be as you're driving along the roads, igniting and going off? That would be so cool. Probably a little dangerous, but I'm totally intrigued now. That's pretty wicked. Yeah, igniting roads. Wow, I've never heard of such a thing. That's cool. That's cool. Well, I think they've learned how to, yeah. So I appreciate everyone joining in tonight. Should I do a live on a regular basis? Maybe do a live from the campsite sometimes. Maybe if I'm down, I don't know, say in Moab coming up in the next week or so, do a live from there. I think it'd be kind of fun. What do you guys think? Be interesting. I should have good cell service down there. I don't know what the cell service is like down in Moab, so I guess I'll figure it out. Okay, yeah, yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, let's do a live on a regular basis. Okay, cool. Lives are awesome. Cheers, everyone. I'll catch up with you. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll have a great trip. Thank you. It was a crazy experience. It was deep and aerated by the bridges. The foam wasn't allowed. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Thank you. OnX app shows cell coverage now. I'm gonna go check it out and see what the cell coverage is like down there. I'm gonna do that. So I'll post up lots of photos and lots of pics from Moab when I'm down there. So anyways, it has been an hour and 8 minutes. Holy smokes, time flies. Thanks everybody for joining on tonight's live, and I'll keep everybody in the loop when we're gonna do the next one. I could better explain by a campfire. I still have pictures. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, a lot of great ideas. Echo Man 2005, a lot of great ideas. I agree. I agree. Yeah, Jeep will be running soon. Won't be running in time for the Moab trip, but it'll be running soon. Anyways, take care, guys. Keep the rubber side down and have lots of fun.